You've just tuned in to Time Out with Coach Mike Jarvis. Let the games begin.
Hey y'all, welcome to Time Out with Coach Mike Jarvis. My name is Germil. I'm here with Casey and Coach. Today we have a wonderful show for you, but before we begin, I want to make sure that you help us get to 500 subscribers. So if you can, please hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and also please leave some comments in the comment section as we go through our discussions because it's going to be a wonderful time. So let's get started. Come on, y'all.
Hey, let's play ball, baby.
We're playing ball today. Listen, today we have a wonderful show for you. The way this podcast is going to be, because it is a leadership podcast, most of the time we're going to be talking about leadership. And today the way we're going to do it is we're going to start off with this conversation that Coach want to put to rest, which is the GOAT conversation. Who is the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball? And today we're gonna hash this out because we all have our opinions on this matter. But then we're going to go into the next segment about who the greatest leader in basketball is that we've ever seen. So tune in and
Listen, I got my opinion, but my opinion could be factual as well.
Listen, it's all about facts today. I'm only looking for facts. We're not gonna go into these D-Wade opinions about who your favorite team is or nothing like that. We're just gonna go with facts today, all right? But here's the thing, we're gonna start off. I did a little bit of research. I went in and I pulled up some of the guys that I hear all the time about being the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball. Obviously, we hear LeBron James, we hear Michael Jordan. You named a few in the teaser that we did. We had guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, I've heard recently, and somebody, and in fact, when they brought up Magic Johnson as the greatest of all time, I said, sit down, you're losing your mind. Until they started talking.
Right.
And I said, you know what? Everybody has a good argument for who the GOAT is supposed to be.
That's right.
And I heard the argument, I was like, all right, it's a good argument. Then I put two people in there that I thought should get an honorable mention because of the things that they've done in their lifetime in their career, which is Steph Curry and Larry Bird. Now, I'm not saying that Steph Curry and Larry Bird or either one of them is a GOAT, but they could be a GOAT in their respective areas, right? So I put honorable mentions here, but then I had one that I did not put here, partly because it was an error on my part that I forgot to put Big Wilt Chamberlain on there.
But I don't think.
I'm not saying he's a GOAT either. But we're talking about people who have been mentioned. All right, whether it's a rational thought, if it's true or not, whatever. We're just putting them here because people out there seem to think that these people are their greatest.
But some people don't belong in certain conversations with others. I'm just saying that. So you cannot put Wilt Chamberlain in the same conversation as a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James. I don't even think you could put Wilt Chamberlain in the same conversation as a Steph Curry.
Okay. All right. So he's not on the list. So we're just going to do away with that. All right. So Wilt is out.
And there's a lot of people that would disagree with that. But
with the Wilt Chamberlain.
That's okay. That's okay because once again, a lot of people just look at stats.
Right.
We're going to look at things above and beyond stats.
Right.
Which really makes the difference.
Yeah.
Right.
This is true.
Because at the end of the day, it's about winning.
Right.
Winning.
Oh.
Winning.
We already know who is it.
He's trying to get towards something. But I want you guys to know there's 4 legs that a GOAT stands on.
Let's go.
All right? 4. So if your GOAT comes with 3 legs or 2 legs, that's the wrong GOAT. Exactly. I'm going to tell you this. A GOAT has 4 legs. And these are the 4 legs that I'm going to say.
Okay.
Offense, you got to be able to put the ball
in the hole.
In the basket.
Let's go.
All right? Defense.
Let's go.
You got to be able to be lockdown defender.
Let's go.
All right? Number 3.
You got to win.
If you like it, you better put a ring on it. You got to have a ring or multiple rings.
Right.
All right? And number 4.
Yeah.
What I put here, gotta be a great leader.
Let's go.
You gotta
Amen.
be a great leader.
No.
If you not standing on all 4 legs as a GOAT, you are not a GOAT.
All right, so here's the thing. All right, so out of this list that we put together here, based off of the 4 legs, who are you crossing out immediately?
That's a great
You get
question.
one. You get one.
That's
You
a
get to cross out immediately.
I'm gonna go ahead and cross out Larry Bird.
Ooh.
Larry-
and why is that?
Larry, you're gone.
Why?
I don't think I think he played defense, but he wasn't known for his defense. Nobody's saying Larry Bird is known for his defense. Everyone that I've heard talk about Larry Bird, what they talked about was he was a trash talker and he backed up what he was talking about.
Right.
He did
All
that.
right?
He did
He
that.
backed up what he was talking about. But I also heard that people was giving Larry Bird buckets in the past.
Yeah.
Like on defense, when
Now wait, no. Is this in his older?
no, listen. Larry could give up some points now. So now with that being said, I don't know if Larry Bird standing on all 4 legs as a GOAT. So I'm gonna cross him off.
Right. I personally think I would cross out Larry Bird. Number one is because out of all the GOATs that we have on this list, I think Larry Bird is the only person on this list who does not have a scoring leadership award. He's the only one on this list. Well, I should say maybe 2. There's Magic Johnson also, but Magic Johnson, we all know, is a pass-first guy. We were never expecting Magic Johnson to be high in this category or even be on this category. However, you can't take from Magic Johnson that he's a 4-time assist leader,
Yeah.
right? So I'm leaving Magic Johnson on there for that reason, but I'm taking Larry Bird off also because he's never been a scoring leader.
So
in the NBA.
are you trying to say he's not standing on all 4 legs?
I think he's not standing on all 4 legs, Greg.
So now that being said, you're saying offensively, even though he was known to be a sharpshooter,
Yeah.
he didn't lead the league in scoring at any point in time in his career.
I got another question.
Well-
This question's for you, Coach, because I mean,
Go ahead.
It's about the Larry Bird situation. In his entire career, how many years do you know that he have a 3-point line?
I'm trying. You know what? I'm trying to remember. I think the 3-point line probably comes along around the same time that Bird came along. I'd have to go back and I'm sorry.
But well into the 90s,
But-
the 3-pointer was not a priority for anybody.
No,
Like it
because
is today. So,
no, the game was
game has evolved.
the game was different.
Yeah.
The game with what do you call it? With all the numbers,
you know,
Yeah.
stats and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it just it changed. People said, you know what, we can't win unless we get a lot of threes. The whole game changed. Larry Bird basically came along at the time when you had to have a mid-range game as well as maybe an outside game. But he had an outside game.
No, 100%.
No doubt about it.
Nobody's disputing that. But I think if we're talking about greatest, I can't put Larry in that category if he hasn't been the greatest in scoring at any time in his career.
But don't forget now that when Larry Bird was playing, who he played for, the Celtics. Celtics weren't about scoring. He also played with McHale and
It was about
Parrish,
fighting. That's what it
and it was a lot about fighting, competition.
Right.
But it wasn't about scoring. It was about winning, and it was about just team basketball. That's Boston Celtics basketball.
Right.
But I would agree with you. I would also, as much as I love Larry,
Love Larry, but
and love the Boston connection,
I'm crossing Larry out. Larry.
I agree with you in
That's three
terms of the
legs, buddy.
defense. Okay, that leg is
Yeah.
his weak leg, so we have to take him out.
Okay.
Okay, so we can
I'm with that.
agree. I think we can
And
all
keep
agree
in
on
mind,
that.
Larry was actually an honorable mention also. And I think I put Steph Curry in there because we have some young whippersnappers
Yeah,
nowadays.
they still
don't
wet
know
behind
nothing yet.
it,
They still wet behind it.
They
They
still-
don't know nothing.
They still got Similac running down their lip.
Right,
You
but,
know,
but they loving them some Steph Curry because
This
Steph
is
is
true.
a chef.
Because
and
he can
will-
shoot it.
The man is incredible.
not only can he shoot, he is hands down, no questions asked, the greatest shooter this game has ever seen.
I look at the coach and be like, "What you thinking?"
How can you dispute?
No one can.
You know what?
No one
I-
can
No,
dispute.
there was a time when I would have argued
Who
against. I don't know.
Ray
but-
Allen?
No, come on, man.
Ray Allen,
Ray-
that guy now.
He could shoot, but But Steph just does it all
Yeah.
the time, and he does it in so many different ways.
Yeah. I think Steph has gotten to that place where I think everybody knows this, that there's no one who's going to be able to,
But let's not spend too much time on Steph
Right,
because he's
right.
not in the
He's not-
conversation.
Yeah.
we-
So
we
we're
gonna
gonna
cross him out.
we're gonna
Yeah.
cross Steph out too.
Okay, so
all
let's
right?
get to the nitty gritty here.
Let's
guys.
get to the butter and milk, baby. Let's do
All right,
it.
so Casey, who's your GOAT?
Man, that's you asking me a question that is twofold now. You asking me who's my GOAT?
No,
my
no,
GOAT.
no. Who's the GOAT?
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry. Yeah,
So
let's-
that's two different questions.
Yeah.
My GOAT for our audience out there is the very own D Wade, baby. D Wade is my GOAT.
Come on, man. We ain't
All
got
right,
time. Let's-
All right,
listen,
but since we don't have him on this
he
list,
ain't on the list,
on this,
but
out of
you gonna have a lot of people that say, man, why we ain't putting D Wade in the conversation, which he is the third, in my humble opinion, the third best two guard of all time.
100%.
All right, so he can deserve to be on some type of list. If you gonna put Larry Bird on the list, you can put D Wade somewhere
All
on
right,
there.
all right, you got your
All right.
honorable mention. Go ahead.
All right, now here we go. The GOAT has to be, and if you ask 99 people, 98 of them say Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And I'm going to go after facts.
Okay.
No.
Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
Okay. Hold it right there. Who's your GOAT, coach?
well, you know, I'm,
Who's the greatest of all? Let's lay it out there, man. We're trying to put this conversation to rest.
I know I'm going to age myself,
Yeah.
but I grew up on Celtics basketball, championship basketball,
Okay.
and in my opinion, if I was to take one player first, out of all the players who've ever played, I'm taking Bill, number 6, Russell.
Okay.
And I take Bill Russell because all Bill Russell knew how to do was win championships, not just as a player, but as a player coach,
Right.
which
Coach.
nobody else. And I'm sorry. I mean, let me just tell you. Let me just say this: 8 consecutive world championships,
Uh-huh.
9 as a player only, 2 out of 3 as a coach, a total of 11 during his career. Okay, yes, he played with some great players,
Right.
but all they did was win. And anytime, whatever they needed, he provided.
Okay.
Okay,
Wait, hold
he
on.
had.
Let me get him.
And,
dog.
no. Let me just
Go
finish.
ahead, go ahead,
Let me
go
just
ahead.
tell you a little bit
I'm
more.
with you, Coach.
Okay,
Talk your talk,
and
Coach.
it didn't just start
Uh-huh.
in the NBA. It started in high school.
Okay.
State championships,
No, we
multiple.
ain't talking about high school.
No, I'm
man.
just saying, state championships, multiple.
He's a winner at every level.
Un-
Listen, I know someone
und-
who won. If that's the guy, I know someone who won at every level. Billy
undefeated,
Thompson. Ain't nobody touching Billy Thompson.
undefeated teams in college, national championships, gold medal, and then comes in the NBA and just takes over the league. Had games where he got 50 plus
All right,
rebounds.
Coach, I got a question for you though.
Yes, please.
Listen, Bill Russell is probably the most impressive player I have ever seen when I see someone who's played for 12 straight seasons and won 11 championships.
See, both of
Hold
y'all
on now,
missing
hold
the point.
No, hold
You
on.
missing-
I'm not
you
done.
gotta-
I'm not done.
Go ahead.
I'm not done.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
But I have a problem.
Go ahead.
When I see 11 championships and all I see is 2 finals MVPs.
Oh
Oh
man.
no! That tells you how
That-
great.
no,
That tells you.
that makes me-
Hold on.
that make me-
That
No.
Coach, you got a point.
That
No,
makes me
no,
sick
no.
to
That's-
Coach, he
my
has a
stomach.
point, Coach.
That's got
How
more.
you gonna be the greatest of all time? You have 11. You have
Because-
11 championships and you
And
only
only
have
two
2
finals?
finals MVPs.
Coach, that's
Come
a
on.
good point.
No, here's the deal, though. The deal is that Bill Russell's was basically made it possible for all those other guys. Whoever won the MVP over him was because of him.
No.
Period.
No. Whoever won the MVP over him was greater than him.
No.
That's
the
what
time.
that's what
No.
MVP means, Coach.
No,
the
it-
most valuable player. You can't put that in his lap and just be like, oh, he's the GOAT because he won 11. Don't you have 5? He played with 5 Hall of Famers?
He made every single one of them.
Oh,
They were he made every person that he ever played with better.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay?
Go ahead.
How can you call somebody the GOAT We talking about Bill Russell, right?
Mhm.
You made a great point, Germil. Only 2 finals MVPs?
Right.
That's unheard of.
But
you got to realize, Bill Russell played in a time where there was only 6 teams in the league. All right? So if to win 11 championships,
But-
having
No.
only 6 teams in the league.
but Case, listen to that
Hold
argument.
on, y'all hold that.
Okay,
y'all
hold
hold
on.
that for a second. We're about to cut to a commercial break. We're gonna be right back.
I
really
want to
quickly.
talk about this 16 thing.
You gonna go ahead and talk to me?
Hold on, hold
Okay,
on. Hold on. We're gonna cut to a commercial
Okay.
break. We'll be right back, y'all.
All right.
What's up, y'all? If you guys are looking for an amazing college, an amazing Bible college, you have to look into South Florida Bible College in Deerfield Beach, Florida. They've been around since 1985. They've been accredited since 2013. They are multicultural, interdenominational, and they are the top 10 most affordable Bible college in the entire U.S. Let me tell you something. They have online classes and they have on-campus classes. So if you are looking for a quality education at an affordable price, look no further than South Florida Bible College. I want to let you know that you can use the link down below that says sfbc.edu/coach. That'll get you 5% off of your tuition, and it'll also get you $75 off. That's the application fee. They're cutting that for you. So use the link down below, sfbc.edu/coach, for a 5% discount at South Florida Bible College. Amazing school. Y'all go check it out. All right, Coach, you were saying.
I was just saying, there were people that say there were only so many teams. What did you say? Who
Yeah.
16. You said like
16.
It might have been 5.
Okay. Well, first of all, there were less teams, but I think the
Less?
Less than 5?
No, there were less teams back then. I remember 8 teams. I
Yeah.
remember 12 teams.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's when they used to also have double headers. You'd go to a game, you'd see 2 games for the price of
Right.
one.
Oh,
but that's a
wow.
whole nother thing.
Uh-huh.
But here's the deal: those teams, because there were less teams, were actually from top to bottom. The teams were, I think, better overall. In other words, there were less teams, but the quality of players.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's like now it almost seems like it's watered down. There's so many teams. There's so many
I'm gonna
players.
tell you something, Coach. I don't know if I agree. I'm sorry, Coach. I love you.
I'm
I believe
glad
you
you
are a
do.
great coach. But here's what I have to say about that. We're more skilled today.
Yeah.
If I can look back at the way basketball was played 30 years ago, 40 years ago, all this underhand foul shooting and
Oh no! There was no! Come on now! You've gone back to Naismith and Springfield when they first invented the game. And I was taught how to shoot underhanded when I first started playing.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and
I don't
then,
think anybody in your. I'm be real. I don't think anybody in the time of Wilt Chamberlain, in the time of Bill Russell. I'll even say Larry. Well, okay, maybe Larry Bird. That's when we started getting good. You started seeing more fist fights. The game started getting. No. I'm just saying the game started getting more competitive, and people actually started loving. I mean, you had, it's like you had teams with like plumbers. And,
you know what? Let me.
They used to be in the back smoking a cigarette before they go out on the court.
Well, that's better than smoking a joint.
Yeah, hey, I'm sure they did that too.
Well, I'm sure they did.
But Coach, I don't think anybody in that time could really step into these guys today. They start when they're 5 years old and they're like robots.
Yeah, but here's the.
They get to the NBA and you can't stop them.
But once again, fundamentals. I mean, when you watch the game back then, okay, what you saw, I mean, it was different. Yes, I mean, because guys were taught the fundamentals and they played a more basic, purer style of ball. As time went on and players became, you had great athletes who became basketball players,
right?
Okay, and therefore the game went to another level. There's
I don't want to take away from their talent. You watch them and you see how.
But can a brother get a crossover? Back in the day, there ain't wasn't no crossover. They used to use one hand. If you look at the film from back in the day, Coach, they using one hand like that. If they wanted to crossover, they'll go like this. But like, I mean, where's the fluidity? Where's the
all right, wait, hold on. Let's move on.
The game evolved.
We're not
no
here,
mistake about it. It was different.
Listen, we're not here to bash old time
Stop
basketball.
talking. Don't get on my peeps.
If it wasn't for old school basketball,
It won't be no
here.
new school.
It wouldn't be here today. So listen,
Well, who do you think taught the new school how to play?
That's true.
The
That's
old
true.
time.
But here's what I have to say. We said we come here for the facts, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I look at my GOAT, and if he has to stand on 4 legs, I have
and
to
he
ask.
better stand on all 4.
All right, so we're not taking Bill Russell out the conversation, but you know who I do want to take out the conversation, and I'm going to get a ton of comments about this.
Who?
I'm pulling my man Kobe out.
And why is that?
I'm pulling Kobe out the conversation.
If you hold on, time out now. I'm gonna tell you this. If you pull Kobe Bean,
right.
If you pull Kobe Bean out of this conversation, you gonna have to pull Michael Jordan out of the conversation.
No. See,
they the same players.
No. Because you haven't seen where I'm coming from first. First of all, if you're gonna look at Kobe, you have to compare him. First of all, we're not talking about who are the greatest, right? We're coming down to one player. We're knocking them one down to somebody. All of them got to go at some point.
You're right.
I'm knocking Kobe off now. The reason I'm knocking Kobe off is because Kobe played 20 seasons, and I'm going to compare him to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Go ahead.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played 20 seasons.
Okay.
Kareem won 6. Kobe won 5. Kareem has 6 MVPs, which is the most we've ever seen from any player who's ever played the game.
Okay.
6 season MVPs. Kobe has 1. That alone tells me that he's already, he's not there yet. I mean,
but there's multiple years that
above.
Kobe should have.
Ain't nobody arguing that, but I'm just saying I'm going by the facts.
But then you got players like Shaq.
They're tied for Finals MVPs, and they're tied for scoring leader titles, right? So if we're looking at 20 years versus the reason I use Kareem is because they both have a 20-year, career.
That's amazing that he played 20 years.
Right, wow. Right. So I'm seeing that, and I have to compare the two of them. And if I had to pick one, I'd pick Kareem over Kobe. And so for that reason, Kobe, my friend.
I respect it.
All right. So that's where I'm at with it. So and I love Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players who've ever played the game. But I'm knocking him off the list right now as greatest of all time.
All right. So he's gone.
All right.
All right.
We're left with who? LeBron?
Okay. You might be left with LeBron. And, and when you compare, and I know you're going to want to go there, you're going to want to say, like a lot of people think LeBron's the GOAT.
He's the guy.
Okay.
Right. That's what people...
I don't agree with that.
Listen, if I had to pick...
I don't agree with that.
Keep in mind, I came into this conversation thinking, you know what, I'm actually willing to change my mind. And as I was pulling this list together, I actually thought to myself, golly, I think I might have to put my whole MJ GOAT bias down for a minute and see if I could switch up because I have to look at the facts.
Okay, and you know what? Because of the facts, which you have brought out and you continue to bring out, I'm going to probably change my opinion. Yes.
Really?
All right, talk to me,
wow.
Coach.
No, this is what it's supposed to be about.
I am, and I was playing around with some numbers and some different things as well, especially as you spoke. And you know what? I mean, I had the opportunity in 1980, 81, whatever it was, to coach Michael Jordan. Okay, never realized that he'd be possibly the greatest player of all time. Okay, taught him everything he knows in 1 week at the McDonald's All-American game.
I believe it.
Okay.
I believe it, Coach.
And then, you start to think about, okay, like if I had to pick between LeBron and Michael, who would I go with? I'd go with Michael.
So wait, no. We're going to be fair. You said you were willing to switch. You came in with Bill Russell.
No doubt about it.
Are you saying that we can cross Bill Russell off the list as the greatest of all time, in your opinion now?
As a player. And
as the greatest player of all time who's ever played the basketball game.
Yes.
Okay, so it's done.
We're crossing Bill out.
We could
bye-bye, Billy.
We converted coach.
Bye-bye, Billy.
Because I once again, as I said during the timeout, halftime, to me, Bill Russell was the greatest winner of all time.
I give him that.
Okay?
Greatest
winner of all time. Yeah. In any sport, by none, Bill Russell.
Let me tell you something, man. If I was playing 5-year-olds, I'd be the greatest winner too.
Oh, forget about that. Don't even. Please.
I'm messing with you, Coach.
I know you are. I know you are. But
Right.
I would take MJ. You know, once again, you look at the numbers. 14-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 10 scoring titles. Not only that, but he did play defense, and he won championships. You know, and here's another stat, and I always talk about winning. Okay, 6-0, undefeated in NBA Finals.
Now,
crazy.
come on now.
That's crazy.
Coach, you didn't hit a mark. You didn't strike a chord
Yeah.
that needs to be stricken right now.
The thing
If that's a word. But let me finish.
Okay.
He's 6-0.
6-0.
6-0 in the finals, but guess what?
Mhm.
He's never been to a game 7.
Mm.
This man is a bona fide winner.
Winner.
You want to talk about a winner, and if we talking about the GOAT conversation where you got to stand on 4 legs.
Wow.
Well, once again, you know, you have to. I mean, as hard as it is for me, I mean, I love Bill Russell. I grew up I used to fall asleep, Germil and Casey, listening to my little box radio next to my bed. Okay, probably because we didn't have TV, but I'm listening to the radio. I used to count his rebounds.
Wow.
Instead, you know, I used to count sheep hopping over the fence. I used to count Bill Russell's rebounds. That's how I went to sleep at night.
Wow.
And some nights I got to 40. One night I got to 55 rebounds in a game.
One game.
Wow.
Of course, you could say that's because the guys used to miss a lot back then. They didn't
That's
have too many Stephen Currys.
I got a thing too. You guys were mentioning like incredible Michael Jordan like stats, or dude, when I look at this, it blows my mind. Because out of all the players that we see on this list, this guy is so far above everyone else in this category. It makes me want to say you're just the GOAT just from this.
And that's scoring.
Scoring titles.
Scoring.
My man has 10 scoring titles. And the closest anyone has gotten to him
on this list
is 2.
Okay, but here's the deal. And that's another reason why I'm going with him too, is he did it within basically a structured system. The triangle game that the Chicago Bulls ran, unlike the game the way it's played today, where it's one-on-one, you go get yours, you get your 50, get your 60.
It was a team thing.
It was a team. I mean, they passed that ball around. Of course, when it got down to the end of the shot clock, they knew who to get it to, and he knew what to do with it. So if they played the way that they play now, forget it. He would have averaged 45 a game.
Wow.
He would have. He would average over 40 a game.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm glad I'm hearing it from you,
No,
because
it's the truth.
I've heard a lot of the NBA players actually come out and say this too. And even some of the old guys, some of the new guys, guys who've played with Michael and played against Michael have said that. They said, you know, if Michael was playing in this, that he would score 50. Dennis Rodman said that. And listen, and this is what bothers me too. A lot of people are looking at the LeBron situation and saying, man, LeBron's the greatest of all time. Look at him. He just passed Kareem in the most points ever. And I feel like you got to look at it for everything. You can't just look at the points, right? If you look at the chart, one day I'm going to just maybe I'll put it up on this podcast. When you look at year to year of how many points these 3 men, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and LeBron James, are scoring year by year, career-wise, you'll see something that'll blow your mind. It's going up this way, the chart. You'll see Michael Jordan here, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right underneath him, and then LeBron James beneath that.
Yeah.
And at some point, LeBron James and Kareem kind of cross, where Kareem dips down and LeBron James comes up, and it's where Kareem's getting ready to retire.
Right.
And then he dips, and then LeBron James takes off, but and Michael is still far above them in scoring.
And that's in a structured system.
And until he finally retires, that's when it all crosses over and LeBron continues. Yeah, longevity plays a part in the whole situation, and I'm not taking that away from LeBron because he keeps his body healthy for a very long time. But when you look at the scoring There's no one who did it better than Michael Jordan.
No, and the systems
No.
that he played in
But
was not
because-
conducive to the scoring like it is today, and that's another reason why you have to
Listen,
give it to
I
him.
don't want to close this out, but I feel like for me personally, I'm going to just go ahead and cross out Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Let's do it.
and I'm
with
gonna.
it.
This is me. Y'all could do what y'all want, and I'm gonna cross off LeBron James.
I'm with it.
You guys with that?
I'm
Yeah,
with it.
absolutely.
And I think we're coming down to,
I
in
think
terms of who's the greatest player who ever played the game, I think I'm going with Michael Jordan.
and I don't think there's anybody that could argue with you, even me. As much as I love Bill Russell, okay, and you're absolutely correct.
Hey, coach, he's standing on 4 legs.
Stand on 4
There's
legs.
no doubt about it.
Offense, 10 scoring titles. Defense, how many defensive MVPs that he got?
Talking about like
The only thing you got to be careful about with defense, especially when you're talking about backcourt players.
I'm sorry, defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I know. But
He's gotten that
yes,
and the scoring title in 1 year.
yeah,
That's
absolutely,
crazy.
it is crazy,
So-
and deservedly so. There's been guys, and I'm not going to name any of them, but there's been guys who the fans and the news media thought were great defensive players. They really weren't.
Right.
Because all they did, they thought they were a great defensive player because of the amount of steals they had.
Gary
But
Payton,
what-
is you talking about Gary
no,
Payton?
I'm not talking about Gary
Okay.
Payton. I won't mention his
glove
name.
was- the glove was a mean
no,
man.
the glove was incredible.
All right.
But the fella I'm thinking about used to play in the East, and he was always referred to as a great defensive player, but he wasn't. He was a guy that usually was out of position. He got a lot of steals, but he wasn't a real defensive player. He was basically selfish defensively.
Are you not naming him on purpose, or you just forgot his name?
He's still involved in the game, and he's a great guy. So I don't want anybody to say Coach Jarvis.
My man,
if he
my
was
man.
playing right now, I'd mention his name.
Yeah.
But he's been retired for a long time.
Okay.
He's a Hall of Famer,
Right.
but he was not a great defensive player. In fact,
gotcha.
the players in the NBA back then used to want him to cover him because he would normally be off looking to make steals, and they would have good nights.
That's what they
Gotcha.
say about CP3.
Ooh, now we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there.
no, that's a whole nother.
We
We
don't
can
wanna go
talk
there.
about him though
Yeah.
because he's still playing.
Oh, yeah.
But we
So,
won't.
all right, so we've established, in our opinion, which I think there should be no more opinions. If I'm being honest with you, yeah, this is a very short list that we covered, but there's so much more depth to stats. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are, in your car, on your couch. Listen, we love being with you, and we want you to interact with us. So help us get to 500 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you want to get notified whenever we drop a new video, go ahead and hit that bell. And also leave some comments in the comment section. And don't forget, share this video with your friends because we're trying to get to 500, and you're going to help us do that. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.